As you know, Roomvo and QFloors, we joined forces earlier in the year, and it's been an amazing 9 months so far. We figured that this would be a great opportunity now that we've, got a lot of customers under both the Roomvo and QFloors umbrella to really kind of walk you through our entire offering and our end-to-end solutions for how we can help all of you in the audience grow your business with both Roomvo and QFloors. So let's kick things off. Looks like there's a ton of people here, so let's get things started. Let me start by introducing myself. And again, thanking you all so much for joining us today. So my name is Reid. I am our Director of Dealer Operations here at Roomvo, and I'm joined by the famous Chad Ogden, President of QFloors. I'm sure that he's a familiar face for all of you in the audience, and I'm super happy to be co-hosting this webinar for all of you with Chad. To kind of kick things off, to give a little bit more of a lay of the land, who we are from both Roomvo and QFloors. So on the Roomvo side, if you're not familiar with Roomvo, we are the leading visualization technology partner in the floor covering industry. We have the pleasure of working with over 7,000 retailers across the globe and over 250 leading brands to bring you online and in-store solutions to help you drive traffic for your business. We've helped millions of consumers see flooring products in their own rooms. And with our industry-leading visualizer, we've been voted the #1 flooring technology vendor by Floor Covering News for the past 2 years in a row. That was an award that was given to us by all of the amazing retailers and voters out there. So we appreciate all of your support and your continued partnership with Roomvo. Chad, why don't you share a little bit more about QFloors?
So as you can see here, we started QFloors 25 years ago. This was our 25th anniversary. That's why we were up in Alaska on a users conference cruise, sharing that with a lot of our very loyal and great customers that have been around for a long time. When we came into the industry, we were one of the newer people. We were called the new kids on the block. We grew to where over those 25 years, we became one of the biggest software companies in the industry for ERP systems or business management systems, right? And we'll talk a little bit about that later, specifically built for dealers within this industry. And as it brings up there, that QFloors users on the average are making 35% net higher profit than the industry. We've taken the profit and loss statements and the financial statements from our customers, and that's how we can say this. We know what our customers are doing compared to the industry, and so over the years, I think we've helped our dealer base and our customers do things in a better way, more streamlined way, which adds to higher profits.
And together, both Roomvo and QFloors, our systems create that end-to-end solution for flooring retailers that will help take your business all the way from building awareness for your brand and your services, all the way to installation and final invoice. And since the beginning of the year, since again, we joined forces with QFloors, we've hired over 60 employees. So we are incredibly dedicated to the industry. We're dedicated to our people. We're consistently innovating and working on improving our overall product offering to serve the needs of all of you. So we're really just getting started. We're incredibly excited about how far we've come in just the 9 months that we've been working and having joined forces. And there's so much more that we are working on and excited to share with you all. So let's get into it. So let's talk about some of the common challenges that we're hearing from retailers just like you and what we're doing to kind of help you along the way. So lots of challenges, whether we're hearing that from conversations with you directly or even from Facebook groups that we're all a part of. These are the things that we're consistently hearing, that competition is fierce. And what can you do to stand out from your competitors and differentiate your services and your offering compared to perhaps that flooring retailer down the street? Traffic and leads are always important. You want more eyes on your business. You want more customers coming through your stores. You want more visitors to your websites. How can we help you make sure that your business and your brand are being seen by your consumers? Sales and support, you need support to get your customers feeling confident about their purchase decisions. In doing so, when we are able to instill that confidence in the consumer, we're able to close more sales and we're able to close higher ticket sale items as well. From an operational efficiency perspective, there can be concerns around how to expand the amount of business you're doing while still remaining profitable. You don't want to spread yourself too thin, but you want to be able to perhaps streamline your business and become more profitable, or diversify your business to remain competitive. So these are the kind of common challenges that we're hearing amongst the industry. And we're going to talk about how Roomvo can kind of help you along the way, and how QFloors can help you along the way as well. There's a ton of things to think about, and you want to ensure that your brand and your story is kind of cohesive across the board, from thinking about driving awareness to boosting that consumer confidence, closing sales, all the way to building that brand loyalty. And there really is so much that goes into making a flooring business successful. You need to think about, how are we going to get our shoppers and our consumers to notice us? And not only notice us, but how are we going to get them to choose us, again, over our competitor that may be down the street? How can we help them find their perfect product in a sea of options? There's, consumers can be overwhelmed with the number of products that are available to them. What can we do as retail leaders? What can we do as retail sales associates to really help boost that confidence from the consumer, that they know they're picking the right product that meets their needs all around and fits with their space? When we talk about closing the sale, we really need to ultimately convince that consumer to say yes and to commit to that purchase. So what are we doing to really help bridge that gap and get that sale in the showroom? When we talk about installing and serving our consumer, we really need to be following through with the order process. We need to be following up with scheduling to make sure that we get, the right people to the right home with the right products, so that we can work on that install. Then we want to actually focus on the install and ultimately the billing. There are so many moving parts. It's really important that we make sure that we have an easy and streamlined way to make sure that we're hitting all of those things. And lastly, building loyalty. We know that word of mouth and referrals is the strongest way for retailers to gain new business, and maintaining your reputation and getting more of those referrals helps with that repeat business. So how can the Roomvo and QFloors team help you build that loyalty from your existing customers, so that they become repeat customers, so that they're referring you to their friends and family, and so that you become that flooring retailer of choice for them to make that purchase from? But if you're trying to do this all on your own, or with a handful of different tools from different vendors or suppliers, this process can easily become overwhelming. There's so many things to think about, and how do we keep everything organized and streamlined for us to be successful? Which means that if you're thinking about all of these different tools, you're not necessarily focused on what matters, which is growing. So where do Roomvo and QFloors kind of come into the mix when we talk about all of these things? And this is really why Roomvo and QFloors came together. There was, we had a lot of retailers that we worked with independently come to us that, wanted a cohesive kind of all-in-one solution where they could go to get their website and their in-store offering, but also have their business management solutions all kind of bundled into one offering. And that really is part of the reason that drove this amazing merger of Roomvo and QFloors. And that's really why we came together, to create that overall end-to-end solution that makes each one of these stages all that much more easier for you as a retailer, It makes it more efficient and more effective. So you have the ability to kind of break out of that cycle of feeling overwhelmed by all of these different moving parts and start focusing on those things that matter and focusing your time on working on profitability and your overall growth. So ultimately, Roomvo will help to bring in more traffic and leads. We'll talk about our digital, our online offerings and websites and all of that. We can help accelerate the purchase decision with visualization tools, again, both online and in store. And we can really help seal the deal and close that sale in partnership with QFloors. And that's where things can be handed off to the QFloors team and their product and offering, with handling the overall sales order, managing the overall payments, coordinating and completing jobs and scheduling and the install, and making sure that we're moving all in the right direction. And then to wrap things up, Roomvo can come back in to help build that brand loyalty with reputation management solutions, to really help with that word of mouth and referral, but also for other consumers to see online, look at all of these amazing reviews from previous customers. So let's dive into this a little bit more, and let's take a closer look at exactly how all of this comes together in partnership with Roomvo and QFloors. Let's put ourselves in the customer's shoes. So we're going to be working with our imaginary customer, Sarah. She's going to kind of follow us along this journey. She is a first-time homeowner who is desperate to replace some of the floors in her new kitchen. This is the first time that she's buying flooring. She's never done it before, so she doesn't know where to start. We know that more often than not, a flooring consumer purchases maybe once or twice in their entire lifetime. And we often know that it's quite a big investment and a lot goes into it. So what can we do to help that consumer move more seamlessly throughout the buying process and feel comfortable and confident that they're making the right decision? Because this might be, in Sarah's case, the first time that she's ever purchased flooring. And for some of our other consumers, they might be in the same boat where they've never purchased flooring in their life. So let's start with driving awareness. And driving awareness in today's age really does start online. More often than not, consumers are starting their shopping journey online, whether they're just looking for a local flooring store near them, or perhaps they're looking for maybe something like brown hardwood. Online, it is so important to be there today, and we help you and make it that much easier for you to be successful online. So, like over 90% of flooring shoppers, Sarah is going to start her shopping journey online, and she's going to start with a simple Google search for flooring stores near her. And since you may use Roomvo SEO, which is one of our online offerings, Sarah is able to find your business. And she's able to find your business near the top of the search results based on the specific keywords that she has typed in. She has access to up-to-date contact and location information through your managed Google business profile. And what's important about this is that Sarah is able to get the relevant and important information she needs as easy as that. She's searching for a local flooring store. Your information is coming up for her to be able to shop. And that's because you've partnered with Roomvo and our SEO offering to be able to help with that organic search and make sure that you guys rank well amongst your competitors. So when we talk about Roomvo SEO, things to think about are the ability to improve your search rankings through some optimized content and keywords. As I said, we'll always make sure that your business profile is kept up to date, because that's the number one place that prospective customers are going to find accurate information. And on your end, as the retailer, you'll actually get access to a dashboard where you'll be able to see at a glance all of the metrics associated with your Roomvo SEO package, with what keywords are performing and trending well, what your engagement is on your site. And so you have the ability as the retailer to access that at any point to make sure that we're driving prospective customers like Sarah to the right places on your website. In addition to driving awareness with organic search, we also offer digital advertising. So let's say Sarah's been, looking for several different flooring stores in her area. She's now considered more of a high intent shopper. She's moved from just being curious and browsing to actually ready to find that flooring store where she can get more product information and ultimately make a purchase decision. When you talk about Roomvo site ads, this is an amazing product that will allow your business to really rise to the top of overall search. Roomvo site ads uses the information to serve Sarah targeted ads on Google and Facebook to bring her back to your business's website. So maybe she was looking for brown hardwood floors. She might have gone to browse on another website, something completely unrelated. We can actually create display ads for your business that will drive Sarah back to your website. You'll always stay top of mind for Sarah, and it will drive her back to make a more informed decision and browse the products that you have available to her through your website. And while you're doing this, you have, the ability to generate more traffic for your website and bring in new leads ultimately overall. And you can do all of this while getting a lower cost per lead than traditional agencies. We've done some analysis from a lot of the customers that have moved over to Roomvo's site ads platform, and we've been able to save them quite a lot of money on a per lead basis based on what they were paying before. So we've driven awareness. Sarah's, seen us online. She's either come to our website via an organic search or she's come to us via a paid ad. What can we do to really boost Sarah's confidence while she's, considering what product she wants and what that ultimate purchase decision will be? The number one place that we do this is with online visualization, and we have a handful of different places that we have the ability to really surface this tool for Sarah and consumers alike. So Sarah's now on your website. She's now going to start looking a little bit more deeply into what you as the retailer have to offer. Maybe she notices that you have a little widget on your homepage, and that widget launches a visualizer that features products that you sell from over 250 brands that Roomvo works with. From there, maybe she's able to actually upload a photo of her kitchen and see what your products look like in her space, all via what we call the Roomvo Assistant, which is a free flooring visualizer for any retailer. If you have a website, the Roomvo Assistant is available to you. But from there, perhaps she clicks into your product catalog and she's exploring product pages via your always up-to-date Roomvo product catalog that comes complete with Roomvo's built-in visualizer. You still have access to the same 250 different brands. So Sarah has the ability to see all of the products that you have available to her via the Roomvo catalog. Or maybe let's take it one step further and your entire website is custom built and it's fully managed through Roomvo sites, which includes both the Roomvo visualizer, the product catalog, and custom lead capture forms. Regardless of what product Sarah interacts with, she can get a better vision of what your products look like in her home, which makes her more confident about what she's about to purchase and what product she's looking for. For consumers that actually visualize with Roomvo, they are 5 times more likely to convert and make a real purchase from you. So getting your customers into Roomvo as soon as possible truly makes all the difference, whether it's our free Roomvo Assistant, it's the embedded Roomvo catalog, or it's a completely customized Roomvo site. Every one of these offerings helps that consumer move closer to making that sale. And from there, she's able to see what products are available to her. She's already planning what that visit to your showroom will look like now that she has a better understanding and knowledge of what products are accessible to her. From there, We talk about closing the sale. So we've talked about the online experience. We've talked about driving traffic to the website. We've talked about what your website offering can entail. The next piece is closing the sale. And more often than not, this piece is, of course, done within the showroom. So how can we help Sarah and consumers like Sarah get closer to actually making that sale? It all starts with the in-store visualization. And when we think of Sarah stepping into your showroom, she may be a little overwhelmed. We talked about Sarah maybe never having purchased flooring before and she doesn't know where to start. There are a ton of displays, a ton of different products available to her. It can be an overwhelming experience for a new consumer. Your sales associates will likely greet her and lead her to the Roomvo kiosk, which is a large in-store touchscreen display. It's 43 inches, Wi-Fi enabled, incredibly easy to set up. Together, your RSA and Sarah will talk through what her needs are. They'll get a better understanding of what products she's looking for, especially if she mentioned that she's renovating a kitchen. We might stay away from carpet and we might lean more to some waterproof products like vinyl, for example. Within the Roomvo catalog, she'll have the ability to look through all of the products that you have available in your showroom from the 250 different suppliers that we have on our platform. And since Sarah already has a photo of her kitchen, maybe your RSA asked her to bring that in ahead of time. Maybe you've highlighted on your website that you encourage customers to bring a photo of their space in when they come to browse products. Because she has that photo of her kitchen, she can easily upload that photo into the kiosk and see recommendations that your RSAs have for her. Not only can she see individual products in her space, she can actually compare two different products side by side. If she is having a hard time narrowing down between two brown hardwood products, being able to see her room on the Roomvo kiosk in the showroom, complemented by perhaps those physical samples, really helps instill that confidence to help close that sale. And because of the Roomvo kiosk, Sarah really is able to narrow down further what her favorites are much more quickly while she's actually in the showroom. Moving on from the visualization component and understanding what products make sense for that respective space, here comes in the first piece of QFloors, which is showroom pricing with QTagger. And so perhaps Sarah is not necessarily ready to make that purchase right now, but she is interested in pricing and wants to know, what products make sense with the budget that she's working with. Before heading home, Sarah will want to know what each of these products costs, and we make it incredibly easy for Sarah to be able to get that information. The sales associate or even Sarah can actually scan QR codes that are placed on product samples, which pulls in live pricing and stock information directly from QFloors. QFloors works directly with manufacturers to keep that product pricing updated. And so we have the ability to then pull in that pricing information right into your showroom. So gone are the days where you're printing out long sheets for each sample display that has to be consistently updated when pricing adjustments come out. Everything is managed from QFloors in one easy to access database, and you can make those updates and changes on the fly. QFloors will sync nightly to make sure that pricing and quantities are updated, and you will be able to have a more efficient operation, not having to go through and placing, updated pricing stickers across the showroom. Beyond QTagger and showroom pricing, not only does a consumer like Sarah want to know what pricing looks like before she leaves the showroom, she may not even be ready to make that purchase in the showroom. So how can we make it easy for Sarah to be able to continue exploring products once she leaves the showroom? And that is with our lead sample our lead and sample tracking program, Roomvo Pro. So if Sarah's kind of, doesn't know which two products she wants, she might want to take them home, see them in her kitchen under different natural lighting conditions. Maybe there are relatives and family members that want to weigh in on the process. Sarah has the ability to take these home and actually compare them in her own space. Using Roomvo Pro, which is our free app, it's a CRM that is accessible across all devices, so desktop, tablet, and mobile. Your sales associates can actually check out those samples for Sarah. They can log her contact information so that we have the ability to follow up with her, and also create a task for themselves in the coming days to give Sarah a call to see how things might be going with those samples. Once those samples are actually checked out, she'll actually receive an automated email. And in that email, it will identify what are the samples that she checked out, what day those samples are due to be returned, information on each one of those product samples, as well as a link that directs her back to the visualizer on your website. So this means we're giving Sarah the ability to continue to interact with your brand and your business, your product catalog, and your website, even when she steps out of your showroom. And all of these tools really help her get closer to making that overall decision. Not only can leads be created and logged within Roomvo Pro, if you are a QFloors user as well, every lead generated and passed through Roomvo Pro will be passed to QFloors as well. So you no longer will need to create a lead in your CRM and within your ERP or your business solutions. Everything is connected now. So one lead gets passed through Roomvo to QFloors and you're good to go. Moving on from here, we talk about estimation. And Chad, I'm going to pass it off to you to continue on with this slide.
Hey, well, I'll go from here. I'm going to add a couple things in. On the Q tagger part of it, we do offer electronic tags also. I don't know if we mentioned that, but you can use QR codes, or we have electronic tags and you can use them together, right? So if you don't want everything to be QR codes and you want to have some of them with electronic tags, just like you would see at Home Depot or Lowe's or some of these other places that are now starting, Walmart, that are starting to use these tags, we have that available all in our Q Tagger product also. Sometimes people might not want to do everything in electronic, and then so there can be a combination of all these things, right? And Reid, before we move on to this estimation part, there is a question here. If a customer scans a code one day, goes back to the link, and the device says 2 weeks later, after a price has increased, is that price updated to the new higher price? The answer is yes, it's being continually updated. That's the advantage of the QR codes and having Q Tagger all linked to QFloors, is that those prices, as they're updated in QFloors, will also be updated on your showroom for the QR codes or for the electronic tags, both. All right, so let's move on now. So we talked about, as we now have these leads, and now the customer is ready to make a decision because you've provided them with all these other options, the visualization, and the contact and all the information that they need to make a decision. Now we need to find out how much they actually need, what the quantity is, right? So QFloors has partnered with an estimation software called Measure Square, which we've been partners with for 20 years. And in this process, if you're in their home with an estimator or a salesperson, can draw, like you see on this iPad right here, a diagram of their house. And then as they have rooms defined and everything, they can take products and put the products. So if it's carpet here, if it's tile here, if it's LVT here, they can put the different products in the different rooms. And the estimation software can calculate how much you're going to need of the individual products, right? Once you get the products in the right rooms and get the quantities that you push a button that says this is how much you're going to need, you can take those quantities and now download those into your QFloors software. So now you're on QFloors, right? So this is the main QFloors screen where you create a sales order and I know a lot of you are QFloors customers, so you're very familiar, but for those that aren't, this is where that estimation would flow into this screen right here. You would then select the specific products that you're working with and come up with the pricing for the customers here so that they could see how much it's going to cost them. And then at the very same time that you're doing this, the green screen on the right are all the costs that are associated with this project. So anything in the gray on the left-hand side is what you're charging your customers. On the green part of it, on the right-hand side, is the cost. And so down here at the bottom, you would be able to see your gross margin right then. Before you ever ship that cell off, you don't have to go to any other screens. It's all right here in one place, right? So it's really one of the unique parts of QFloors, how fast it is and dynamic it is to get a price, know how profitable it's going to be. You can even make adjustments to the price to the customer, and it will show you right then how much you're going to be making on this job. So this particular one at the bottom, after the top one, 40% is before commissions, and down at the bottom, 30% is after you pay your commissions. Those two percentages right there. So all happens very quick, very dynamically. And now you can take this proposal that you've created and you can email this and ship it off to your customer. On that email, there is a link that you can click on that will allow the customer to pay or give a down payment for this job. So once they approve it, once they say, yes, this is what I want, now you can actually collect the payments, right? So this screen does a lot. So here is our payment screen right here. It talks about that. So we have QPay, which has so many great features. Over the years, we've tried partnering with payments companies, though it has worked for a time, but not really well. So about 4 years ago, QFloors decided to start our own payments company. Tons of advantages of doing that. We control the pricing so that people cannot jack prices up on you, which I know a lot of you have had those experiences. People come in, shoot you a low price. Over time, that price starts to creep up. We've taken that out of the equation. We do all of the support. So if you have a problem with payments at all, it all comes through our support department, which has been voted here recently award winner for the support, our response times for all of our support, not just for payments, but for all support. We answer on the average incoming calls within 1 minute. And if we can't answer the question, our tier 2 support answers within 2 minutes. So very quick response times. I think all of our customers are very familiar with this and know that that is not just a pitch, and that we actually do answer telephones very quickly. So with the payments here, we can do it online, we can do it in the store, we can do it through terminals. We have every kind of payment option that you would want. And that all goes back to the fact that we have created our own company. Rates are very competitive. Very seldom do we are we not able to at least match a rate, but more often than not, I think we've calculated 70% of the time it's going to be less. And so we have very competitive rates and the ability to make that happen. The other thing about this is that the payments post automatically, right? So as you're doing payments, taking them either online or in the store, those payments get posted to the job. You don't have to go back in and post those. So I think a really a big overall thing that our customers, not only on the rate-ish side of things where we treat people very fairly in that sense, but the integrations that we have with our payments are very slick and very automated. And our customers, when they talk about it, it's usually not that we're saving them so much money, even though we are. It's more like, oh, this is slick and this is awesome and this works really well. So with the payments, that's a big part of this. And we know even with the follow-up too, there is the ability to take tokens. So if you need to actually make another payment later on, you can do that without actually having to call the customer back. So those are all the things that are highlighted in our payment system. All right, let's go to the next one. So install and serve. So I just wanted to stop here real quick. The next part of this is, yeah, you need to get it installed, but there is so much more to QFloors that many of you on this call probably are not aware of. We have an excellent inventory system that is very robust, and that will handle multiple stores. It handles transferring of product. It is very, very, one of the strongest parts of our program is our inventory sections. We also have a purchasing section for all your POs, electronic POs with B2B, so that's all included. We have a payable section where you can pay your vendors out of there, a checkbook section, and a full accounting system, double entry accounting system, all integrated into QFloors. You don't have to go to any other products to do accounting. It's all included in our system. And some of the benefits of that are it's accurate. A lot of outside accounting systems, I will just name, including QuickBooks, are not made for floor covering. And unless you're an accountant, it takes a lot of extra work and energy to try to make it somewhat accurate. So with it being included and in a part of our offering, we offer, I'm confident to say, one of the most accurate accounting systems in our industry. And it gives our customers the best picture of what's really going on. So thanks. Let's go to the next slide here. So we got this thing ordered. We got the order. We took the payment. Now we ordered the product. Now we got to get it installed. So we do have labor scheduling inside of our software. QSChed, it's automated where you can drag and drop, have a list of jobs that need to be included, need to be scheduled. And so you can go to a list, drag and drop those jobs onto a calendar. It automatically updates QFloors, the dates and everything in there, update with the installers. So it's all integrated into there. A lot of flexible views, monthly views, different boards. Like if you had different installation crews going out of different areas, we can create different calendars and different boards just for those individual stores. Some people do it by product. They want to put all their carpet on one board and all of their LVT on another board, whatever, ceramic. We can create boards just for different types of products. So all of these give a lot of flexibility on how you can see things and how you can do things. And then something that's also pretty, I'm going to keep on that other slide for 1 second. Yeah, sorry. One of the other things that is fairly recent is the ability that we give now for our installers to see their upcoming jobs on their phones. So they can be on their own phones and they can log into our system. It's called Installer View, and they can actually see what's coming up for them right on their phones. They don't have to be, given emails and that kind of thing on what's coming up for them. And they can see the details of what is entailed on that job that's coming up. So that's kind of the labor scheduling part of this. Let's fly to the next one here. We also have what we call our document manager. This is kind of, as you're doing the job, it's keeping all of the extra documents and the photos, the signed documents, anything that goes along with this cell that's like in either Microsoft Word or a PDF or even in an image, you can attach and all of those things to the job that you're working on. So anytime you need to go back and take a look at something associated with that job that you generated in another software program that's attached to here, you can go right to it in QFloors, click on the job, and see the documents that have been attached. So it's a really handy thing. Tons of people use this that use our software. Okay, we'll move to this next one here. And I just wanted to mention, I know that there are some QFloors customers on here that I was seeing scanning down through your names. This is probably a high level overview of some things, but I wanted to let you know that we have scheduled for October 2nd for our customers a more deep dive into QFloors and the outlook for where we're going with QFloors. Pavel, the CEO and owner of Roomvo, and myself will be on that webinar. And I think for all QFloors customers, we're going to give you some more detailed information about where things are headed into the future with our products. It's October 2nd.
All right. So the last piece of our puzzle is building that brand loyalty. And we spoke about earlier how important the referral is and how important word of mouth is from previous customers. So let's think about Sarah again. We're now at home. Sarah loves her new floors, and she's thinking about how happy she is with the quality of service that your business delivered to her, your quality and care that the RSAs helped with her along her shopping journey. And she's just overall very happy with the new product and how her new kitchen looks. Thankfully, you use Embed Social, which is a reputation management solution that helps surface reviews from previous customers. So she may find herself back on your website where she may get prompted to leave a business review for your business for other consumers to see and to learn about the amazing experience that she had working with you. You've now not only earned yourself a loyal customer, but you've also increased the likelihood that more shoppers like Sarah will trust you to take care of all of their flooring needs. So with Embed Social, you can collect customer reviews and you can respond to reviews. You can show off your best and most prized reviews as well. And, really take the time to thank your loyal customers for taking the time to write those reviews for your business. And that's all accessed directly from your website. So now to kind of package everything together, with Roomvo and QFloors, we developed these amazing bundles to make it easier than ever for you to make a decision. Again, this came out of need from retailers like you who wanted an all-in-one solution, everything under one roof. And so hopefully from this presentation, you can now see how Roomvo and QFloor really have the ability to power the entire journey end to end from first click all the way to that final installation day. With Roomvo and QFloors, you get access to all of the solutions that we've talked about today and more. And by bundling our offering, you have the ability to save significantly on each one of these product offerings. Each one of those individual products that we ran through this afternoon would usually have a setup fee of around $12,750. And each month, your fees would be around $4,000. On the Elite Bundle plan, our most expensive our extensive bundle gives you the ability to bundle everything with a 68% cost saving. So your initial setup is brought down from $4,000 to $4,000, and the monthly cost is $1,299. So again, that's a savings of 68% per month for a solution that will really start paying for itself as soon as you start leveraging it. It'll bring you more business. It will help you increase your margins. It will help you reduce your costs. It will help drive foot traffic into your showroom and really give your customers a really seamless and overall shopping experience, and give you guys on the back end a really seamless experience with both Roomvo and QFloors systems connected. So again, the Elite Bundle, one-time cost, it's $4,000. That's the setup. Then there's an ongoing monthly cost. That's $1,299. 68% cost savings if you take us on our most extensive bundle offering. If you do have any questions about these Elite Bundles, if you are interested in learning more, or maybe you already use QFloors and you already use Roomvo, but it makes sense to go with the bundle, we're happy to bundle the offering for you and get you set up with that right away. Feel free to email our support +pro@roomvo.com. You'll see that right on the screen there. Feel free to reach out to our support email and we will have somebody connect with you as soon as possible to either talk about getting set up with either Roomvo or QFloors, or connecting them if you're already using both Roomvo and QFloors. And so with that, with about 10 minutes left in our webinar, I wanted to move on to a Q&A. There were a handful of questions that had come up during, or rather throughout the webinar. Want to make sure that we have the ability to get some of these answered as well. So Chad, I have a question for you.
Okay, before you ask me the question, I just wanted to clarify on that bundle slide that we just had. That's for 10 users. So if you have 5 users or 3 or so, it's not going to be that amount, right? So it's going to be a different amount. But that bundle to get the custom websites, all of that kind of stuff, 10 user QFloors, that would be the price for that bundle.
Well, I'm going to read off the questions that our audience has put forward. This one happens to be a QFloors related question. It says, do we get notified when prices go up, and are there QR codes, or rather, are the QR codes only available to companies who have B2B pricing?
Okay, so this is back to the Q tagger question again, right? So these are Q tagger questions, and the prices for Q tagger are coming from QFloors. So when you have a B2B update that comes from your vendor, Shaw, Mohawk, Dow Tile, when those come into QFloors, those prices are passed on automatically to our Q tagger, our QR codes, and our electronic tags. And so they're updated nightly right now. And we do have some upcoming changes with our new QFX program and stuff like that, where we will be updating them probably more frequently than that. Plus you get the quantities in what we have in stock in QFloors can be pushed out to those QR codes and out to those electronic tags. The ones that are not B2B vendors, if you're updating the prices in QFloors, those prices can also be pushed out to QTagger. So it does not have to be a B2B product.
Does this require QFloors to be online, or can it be used on the desktop version?
Any version of QFloors. So both are on-prem QFloors or what we're calling QFX now, which is online. And we'll be talking more about QFX in the other webinar coming up. You mentioned leads crossing over into QFloors. Will that apply to samples as well?
Yes, I believe that is the overall goal, is to be able to not only pass that lead information, but also the samples in which that prospective customer checked out from your showroom. That will all be captured at the lead level to be able to see, this customer took out these samples. Did they actually end up making a purchase for that product, or was it something different?
Yeah. Right now, it doesn't do that. So if you're checking out samples, it puts them into the lead part of the CRM. And then those leads come down into QFloors. But you can see that the next generation would be taking, products that they're selecting on the samples and be putting them into QFloors also. But it currently does not do that.
Can you upload a photo during the lead process? Yes, you can upload as many photos or attachments as you'd like, whether that's a photo of the customer's home, or it's measurement details of their space. Within Roomvo Pro, on the lead, you have the ability to add photos and attachments, as many as you'd like. Another question is the kiosk still going to be white, and are they available yet? So we have both black and white kiosks available. Right now, we have depleted the inventory from our vendor. They are expecting a restock by mid-October. So if there is anybody in the audience that has been interested in a kiosk, what we can do is get your order placed so that as soon as that inventory is replenished, they will start shipping out orders immediately. So it's kind of just at this point, let's get the order in, first come first, for when they ship that out, when their inventory is replenished. Another question about the kiosk. Will the kiosk have the ability to email the selected room scene to the customer? Yes. You can actually share the room scene and the respective products that have been uploaded into the room scene directly from the Roomvo kiosk. There's minimal contact information required to send directly from the kiosk. That information is the recipient's name and their email, and it's automatically sent through the kiosk. What's really great about that as well is anytime that share feature within the kiosk is used, that information is captured in Roomvo Pro as a lead. So you now have a new lead that you can follow up with. Perhaps that was the customer in the showroom sending the room scene to themselves. You now have their contact information to easily be able to follow up with them, and that is stored in both Roomvo Pro and within QFloors. Somebody asked, will support be able to accommodate users in different time zones to help ensure they remain productive? Yes, we have support kind of all across Canada and within the US as well. So depending on where you're located on the Roomvo side, what we typically like to do is set you up with a Roomvo representative that is in your time zone or as close to your time zone as possible, so that you always have an available point of contact to be able to get your questions answered and help you along the way. There is a question about reporting on the CRM. We are working on putting reporting into place, which will give you the ability to see, what are the most common samples that are being checked out, maybe which one of your RSAs is checking out the most samples, how long on average are samples being checked out, how long on average is a lead in this stage before going to this stage. We're working on that reporting piece, and we're hoping to be able to bring that to all of you soon.
There's a question here. Can you discuss QPro versus QFX? That will be the focus of our webinar on October 2nd.
All right. And then I've got one more question. Does this bundle price include monthly QFloors fees? The answer is yes. The bundle includes both Roomvo components and QFloors components. The pricing that you see in front of you right now is for our Elite bundle. So that gives you QFloors access for up to 10 users. If you are interested in the Elite bundle, but you have more than 10 users, no problem at all. We can give you a price based on the number of users that you need beyond the 10. But what you're seeing here pricing wise, that does include both Roomvo and QFloors pricing. One last question here I'm seeing, can we use the Broadloom kiosk? So you can absolutely use the Broadloom kiosk. It won't be connected to Roomvo per se because it's ran and hosted by them. But if you have any interest in converting to running Roomvo's experience on the kiosk, we can help you get that set up as well.
I think you have a conversion package, right, to do that?
We can definitely help. We have some other retailers who have done the same. We make it as easy as possible for you to be able to do that. And what's really great is then if you are using Roomvo for your website or your online catalog or even the Roomvo assistant, you're connected one-to-one. So your products on your website mirror the products in your kiosk and vice versa.
Here's a good question. The Elite bundle that we're showing here, that is QFX. It's not the older versions of QFloors. It's our brand new QFX product. So, and if you're not sure what that is, that's October 2nd. October 2nd is going to be great. Yeah.
October 2nd. All right. Doesn't look like there's any more questions. Okay, one more. How long do we have to take advantage of this bundled pricing? There is I guess no deadline. Like this is Roomvo and QFloors. This is pricing that will, or rather bundles that will be available as long as we are all around. So I would encourage you to move quickly simply because we want to be able to work with you sooner than later, but that pricing isn't going anywhere. So that is pricing that we will honor for you on that bundle. So yeah. Okay. It looks like we have a minute to spare. So again, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us this afternoon. I know that you're all incredibly busy, and sneaking away for an hour is not always the easiest thing to do, but we have an amazing group of retailers like yourselves, and we appreciate your dedication and commitment to joining us today. So thank you. Thank you, Chad. It is always a pleasure presenting with you and sharing about Roomvo and QFloors, two things that we love. If anybody does have questions, please feel free to reach out. We're excited to either partner with you if we don't already work with you, or partner with you further to help you grow your business. So thank you for your time. Hope that you have a wonderful Monday afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you all soon.
See you later.
Bye, everyone.